Been a good week. Been a busy week. I'm ready for August to be just boring.
Good evening. I can hear you, Jason Edwards.
Hello, Jason. How you doing tonight? How was your week? Yeah, like we were talking about earlier this week, man, I don't miss living in Wisconsin with all the rust, all that salt up north, man. I don't miss that at all. I mean, we just don't have those problems like that down here in Oklahoma. We do have problems like that in Oklahoma, it's because we got a car truck that came from the north. And also, Jason, if you guys don't know, Jason is about to start up a YouTube channel, and I need everybody to he comes in, he's been here basically almost every live that we had, and we've become friends online. And so once he gets up and running, I'm expecting everybody to go check out his channel. Okay, just give him some support, give him some love, because he's one of us. He just up on the East Coast.
Hello, Uncle Buck. I just bought a 85 K10 a month ago and learned a lot from you already.
GMCs are awesome. I mean, there really isn't no difference. There's the little packages, little interior stuff and outside stuff, but they're brothers from another mother, But I really appreciate that. I mean, that's the whole part about all of this is the more I'm into this, the more I'm finding out that the old school ways are becoming forgotten. And that's all I'm trying to do is just bring back the old stuff and just teach. That's all I want to do. I just want to teach.
Jason says, I appreciate that.
Yep. Okay. How much did he say we have showing live? 11. Okay. You guys are my tried and true ride and die guys. Okay. So the subject matter of today, besides your questions, is going to be, I've got everything else turned on except for memberships on YouTube. And I'm curious if I started doing memberships, private stuff, just stuff that only guys that are a member are that have access to, what would be the things that you guys would like to know? Or what would be the things that you guys as a member would like to have happen? I'm looking for suggestions because there's a bunch of things, because I don't know if I want to stop doing these lives, but I might start doing a live for members only if I decide to start doing members. So if that was the case, what would you like to have happen as a special member of Uncle Buck's Garage? What information, what perks would be valuable to you guys? Because I'm just learning this thing myself. I've been down the rabbit hole all week about watching videos about it and talking and messaging other YouTubers, and it's the next progression. It's the next thing. So you guys tell me, what would be something that would be valuable to you, like one-on-one as a member of Uncle Buck's Garage?
Jason says, still working on trying to get the channel making progress. It isn't easy. Just want to do it right.
Yep. Till you get that frame all stripped up, it's penetrating oil and heat. All the threads, all the nuts, all the bolts, all the everything. And like you're already dealing with like the brake lines. That's just, man, them road conditions up there up north, they just eat old stuff to pieces. But I am planning on in the spring, once we get the building up, I'm planning on buying a couple, 3, 4 maybe bodies. And there might be a spare frame or so coming up, for all my friends that's up there on the East Coast, and up north. Oklahoma frame is pretty solid. I mean, it's a good foundation to build something on.
Mike Roberts says, "Hi, Buck. I finally got a chance to join the live."
Appreciate it very much, Mike. Got any questions? Or you got anything to any opinions about what would it be beneficial as a live, as a member, if I decide to do it? I haven't completely decided to do it because it seems like I pretty much do everything but that right now. I mean, I've got everything turned on besides memberships, and I don't know if I got time. I mean, what would be something that would be valuable to you guys for like a paid membership? But I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are my ride and die kind of guys, you know, and I know you guys are spread across the country, but I guarantee you, if you were local, you'd be like all me and my friends. It would be a phone call and, you know, circle the wagons to come running and come help. I mean, that's what we do with each other here in Sequoia County. And I've been, like I said, I've had the same friends since I was 10 years old. And we protect, nurture, you know, help each other. We learn, you know, which you guys are gonna meet Uncle Mike and Uncle Dave. You got a question?
Yeah. Mike says, "I tend to avoid membership. Life is too expensive already."
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm going with it too. I mean, besides just trying to, you know, the money that YouTube makes and like the t-shirt money and stuff like that. And once the shop goes up, I'll be able to do side work. Yeah, I already got asked to do work and I'm like, well, if it's got a computer on, I'm not doing it. If it ain't old, I'm not working on it, you know? So, but my son is other end. We just got one moved out. We worked on a 2012 Canyon straight 5-liter, 3.7 liter, and we put a new motor in and everything for a lady local. And but that they are just so over engineered. I mean, I spent an hour just tightening through bolts for the air conditioner compressor and an alternator. An hour, because they left no room to get in there. You couldn't use a ratchet. You just had to use an open end wrench and just jink, ink. It was ridiculous. The engineering involved, you know, I mean, yeah, no, I'm going to stick with my old stuff.
Okay, we got one that says, "Agreed with Mike. I don't like when info is behind a paid wall. Maybe membership. Maybe members see the video first, but I would hate to see a helpful info hidden behind a subscription."
Yeah, and I agree. That's an old thing. I mean, YouTube keeps sending me these things. You know, the next level. You're at a certain point. You know, and now it's membership. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm not a member. I don't pay for a membership for anything. I mean, nothing. I mean, I hate to pay for Netflix. So that's why I'm asking. I'm asking for y'all's opinion on it, you know. And Christina kind of was the same way. She's like, okay, you already, you take phone calls and emails and everything. You answer questions, and she said, and me and a gentleman had a really nice conversation last Friday night. He was having trouble stabbing a distributor, and I told him email me, and I gave him my phone number, and we had a nice half an hour conversation. Really nice guy on the East Coast, and walked him through how to get the distributor in, and he asked me if he wanted to send me money through Cash App, and I'm like, no. I'm like, you're no different than if one of my friends called me up and said, I'm having trouble, can you come over? And it was the same thing. It's like me and him spoke like we'd been friends for 30 years, okay? And I don't want to taint that.
Would you do a budget cam swap testing for the sound and reliability? Most people look up videos or wanting a cool old ride that sounds good. Memberships can be as low as $1 a month.
Yeah.
Hi, Uncle Buck. A process of depressurizing a compressor.
AC compressor.
AC compressor. Mike says, I'm a smaller fella. I could sit in the engine bay on my 73 square body to work on stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Oh my God. It was, I mean, to put the throttle body and the intake manifold on it, he had to take the inner fender out of it to go through the wheel well to get to the bolts and the starter bolts and the alternator. I mean, it was so over engineered. It just blew my mind, and it solidified that if it's got a computer on, I'm not working on it. I'm just not. I mean, it was a payday for something for my son. I mean, it was, but I mean, oh my Lord. I mean, it's a basic kind of the same thing. It's transmission, engine, put it in, stab it, bolt it up, torque converter, the whole 9 yards, but just so over engineered and so tight in that engine compartment, with struts and everything. When you go to struts, it takes so much space out of the engine compartment.
Hi, you forgot to turn on the CC.
Closed caption? I don't. Sorry. Now that it's running, there's no way for me to mess with it. So we're stuck for an hour for the no closed caption.
Recovery system to catch Freon?
Yeah. We're not going to talk about the EPA here.
That does not exist anymore. Guys are our age. That's how we got things done. I appreciate being able to bounce things off you to a street. I have knowledge or experience. You don't. That's why. It's cool.
Exactly. That's why sometime once the new shop goes up, I'm going to get Uncle Mike down here, which he is my transmission guru, and we're going to do a turbo 400 and a 350. I'm going to get him in here because his health ain't very good. We're all getting older, right? And he does get around with it, but I'm going to have him walk me through it and talk through it while we're doing it in the videos, step by step how to rebuild a turbo 400 and a 350. So that I can get it in the books, in the can, so that anybody can go back from now until the end of time and watch it step by step. That's how it doesn't get lost.
Cheap Hot Rod says, what's up, brother? Jason says, badass dare sticker on the toolbox.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I don't know about
His
y'all.
wife pointed out. His wife pointed it out.
Yeah. I mean, all of us, those are ancient. But I got to admit, that's my favorite right there. Southern style, old trucker, but I signed up for the original Power Tour. What?
Cheap Hot Rod, aka Michael Clark.
Mike Clark, yep.
Yeah.
Mike, do not paint that car. Leave it like it is. Put some pimp juice on it. Rub it down with linseed oil or something. But don't paint that car because it looks cool like it is.
Let's see here. I've got a Toro 400. Scantling says, Thomas says to tell you to get to work. Mike Roberts, transmission video will be much appreciated. Yeah.
No, everybody's asking for it. The rear end video and the transmission videos. I'm going to get them done this winter. And I'm hoping to have that $500 build in the frame this winter and fire it off with a radiator on it, and stuff, and transmission hooked to it in the frame. I'm hoping to fire it up because I'm jonesing to try to fire that damn thing off. I really am. I'm in a good mood to do that. But it's just everything. The shop is just taking everything. It's a little here, a little there, but I'm just really ready to have a new space.
Let's see here.
But all them stickers, all of them, besides the Dare sticker, is something that I have bought in the past.
Mike says, I remember when you put the Caltrack sticker on the box. Let's see.
Yep. I was Caltrax, what, 25 years ago?
I don't know.
When we started drag racing. 2000. Okay. More than 20 years ago, I was the first guy in the area to get Caltrack bars. And they were pricey then. They're still pricey, but I mean, they work. They are legitimately well engineered. They work.
SM465 too. I don't know. SM465.
SM465. Explain it. More info.
Let's see. Dan says, I've been watching each of your videos of square bodies, and I have. Okay, I've been watching each of your videos, square body. Have not seen you work on a 4x4.
It's coming. I know that there's a hole in that, and Junior, my son, he wants to build a square body 4-wheel drive. I'm with like modern technology and upgraded everything, and it's coming. So it's on the grocery list for the spring tax return money. It's on the grocery list. So we're gonna find one, and hopefully find one with a title. But that is going to be one of the things. We got 4-wheel drive, crew cab, dually, and a car hauler, a single cab or a crew cab car hauler. You know, with the ramp style. That's the three things that's in the works, because I already have Bama Lamb, which is going to be my daily, and then we have the race truck, which is the frame that's outside. So we got, the plan is 4-wheel drive, crew cab dually to haul whatever we want to do to the racetrack, and then a wedge truck to go pull them out of the weeds.
Let's see. SM465 is a manual trans.
Oh, well, what about it?
What's your fastest ET a quarter mile?
It was 10. I was bracket racing, but we used to run 1,000-foot or 8th mile, but we went to the track in Kansas, and it was quarter mile, and I put a little bit more air in the tires, and my ET was a 10:09 with the big block with the Camaro, but I did run in an alcohol injected. He had an extra seat, and I strapped in, and we did. For a quarter mile, we did a 798, third gen Camaro, full cage, the whole 9 yards. That was fun. I've been fast. The one place that scared me the most was on the water. I mean, in this area, if you, there was a guy that would build jet boats. And we have a big Lake 10 killer. You can look it up, Lake 10 killer, and it's big and it's long and everything. And I was on the floor of the boat screaming for him to stop. Only place I've ever been scared of power was that, and I was like 20, and I thought, nothing scares me. That scared the shit out of me. I mean, it was frightening how ballistically fast that was on the water, open air, not even seatbelted in, just open cockpit, and he just floored it. And the jets went up, and it came on top of the water, and it was all that was in the water was the jet, and that thing was doing this, and we were had to been over 100 plus on the water. It scared the living daylights out of me. Only time I was scared.
If you build a 350 and a 400, don't forget about the manual guys with the SM465.
Yeah. No, I have the bell housing, all the clutch. Pretty please. Now, that is one of my want to builds. Okay. Now, it might be in the Camaro. It might not be in the, in a square body, but one of my others is I always either wanted a 4-speed Rock Crusher 4-speed Camaro or Corvette. I've always wanted one. Never had, or a Chevelle. You know, I've always wanted that. I mean, I've driven a couple, but I never owned one. But I got the bell housing. I've got the pedal assemblies. I got all the hardware. I got everything to put one together in, except for the box. You know, but it would be a 4-speed in a square body with a 454 would be a lot of fun. It would be a tire burner from day one.
Should I stay with a engine 305 or change it to a 350?
Depends on your pocketbook. 305s are not bad motors. 305s are not bad motors. You can punch them out a little bit, you know, stroke them out a little bit, and they can go to 330 cubic inches, and they wrap up real close. There's some options for heads that are really good flowing heads, but it's like anything else. You're hamstringed by the bore size. You know, anything below 4 inches bore is going to be a little bit hindered for power. They're not ever going to have any torque. They might wrap up. You know, if you put a 305 with like aluminum 5-speed out of like a 3rd gen or a 4th gen, it could be a lot of fun because, you know, you're dealing with gear ratios and everything. But just for torque production, 305 is always going to be a little lacking. So if you're driving something heavy with an automatic, I would say go through the 350. If you're going to drive something with a 5-speed or a 6-speed in it, go with the 305. Get a little bit more gas mileage. It'll be a little bit peppier, you know, and it'll sing.
Just swapped my SM465 for a 700 R4 because I got tired of standing on the clutch in a stoplight.
Yeah, no, if I built one, it would be for fun.
Cheap Hot Rod says, do a video on how to identify SBC engines, size, year, and what's good and bad or bad. I've got to figure out what motor I've got in the 37.
Okay, so Mike, the casting number on the back of the bell houses will tell you everything. There'll be a build date and everything on the back. Just take a picture of it with your phone and research it to tell you what's on there. Same thing, pull the valve cover and do the number off of the casting number off of the head with the month and the year of production. And then we can do a lot of fun. Matter of fact, if you want me to port you a set of heads, I'll port you a set of heads.
Russ says, had a 307 68 Chevelle wagon.
307s are awesome motors. I mean, people don't give them a lot of credit. I mean, I had a friend, Roger Osmond. All you guys that are from local, you remember Roger. I don't know if he's still alive, but he loved 307s because they would do RPMs like crazy. They would do 7,500 RPMs and do it all day long. Like the 289 Fords, they would just blaze. I mean, they weren't torque monsters, but man, you put them behind a 4-speed or it put a decent gear ratio in them, they were incredible. And nothing else sounded like a 307, like a really tuned up 307.
Should I build a dirt track race car? Michael Scantling.
You want to knock the windows out of everything and never drive it, but besides on a dirt track, you can. I mean, that was the mistake I made with my 81 Camaro, is I caged it out to go drag racing with it. I should have never done that. If I'd have left it stock and just put a drive shaft loop on it and put slicks on it, I'd still probably have it today with the big block in it. I should have never caged it out. But if you got extra parts,
you should build a dirt track race.
Never been my thing. Too many fights. Okay. There's too many fights when it comes to dirt track racing. There's just too many hot tempers and everything. When it comes to drag racing, you might get a little miffed at somebody, but I've never seen a fist fight in the pits. But every freaking weekend, it's like WWE at the dirt track. I mean, I'm getting too old to thump ass. I mean, I'll do it if I have to, but I mean, it's just not my thing.
OD says, or the front suffix code, if not deck block, to get more specific.
Right. Mike, if you're hearing this, Mike, there'll be a code on the behind the alternator on the driver's side. I'm a passenger side on the block. If it hasn't been decked, machined off, there'll be a code that you can also find out what it is on the front, right behind the alternator.
And Jason says, yeah, but dirt track race car. Ha
No. Now, I know Jason. Yeah, Jason, I know you guys do. But I mean, okay, I'm assuming you're pretty close to my age. How many fights have you been involved in the pits when it comes? I mean, you know, when we did back when I was a young guy, you know, and everybody was, whatever came off of a used engine got put on the claimer engine, you know, and everything. And I did a lot of machine, you know, motor work and stuff like that, beat out dents and everything. But I never drove, but I really got the, like, this is, I mean, down here in Oklahoma, it's,
Jason says almost one.
It's the wild, wild west. Okay.
2 for that. Let's see here. Michael Campbell says, as a young buck, I agree with your SBC or LS video. I got numerous C10s LS swaps from mild to wild, but I'm still loving my original 73 feet 350 with a quadrijet. They're all great engines.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm, like I said, we got to talk about this. I found a honey hole. I lucked onto a honey hole. When it's 80 foot long, half moon, you know, old corrugated tin, looks like a tin horn, right? Open the doors, Dodge Dually sitting in the front, but in the middle, a dozen small blocks, big block parts, tins, and I hate to say it, but the gentleman that I met, which I knew I met him before, but I'm terrible with names, but I knew I met him before. But this fall, we are going to have at least 6 small block cores show up here, transmission cores. Like I said, that's why I'm going to start rebuilding transmissions, get Uncle Mike here to help rebuild transmissions, because you had to walk sideways. You know, you had to sidestep to get around everything because it's so full of stuff. Okay. And he's not doing well health-wise. And so we're going to have a lot of cores to build a lot of trucks and a lot of hot rods. So it's going to be a game changer for me, but we're going to have to build everything from scratch. But that's what it's all about.
What's the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2?
1-piece and 2-piece rear main seals. Basically, the crankshafts. The rods are the same, the pistons are the same. You know, Gen 1, Gen 2, it's 2-piece rear seals on the crankshafts as opposed to 1-piece rear seals, which I'm a 2-piece guy. And he had a bunch of 1-pieces. Also, like, I might get some heads off of them, like some Vortec heads, and work with them. But the 2-piece rear main seals, you know, they're the 55 to, you know, 78 or 82, you know, so those are my jam. And he's got a pile. It's, you know, when the doors opened, it should have been, manna from heaven. I mean, because I was like, holy shit. And the funny part is, it's 5 miles. It's 5 miles from the house. I'm just going to drive across town. Literally. That's it. 5 miles. And it's just, so we made a deal. I'm going to go back in the fall and I'm going to video it. I'm going to document it for you guys. But we're just going to have to dig everything out because he's got to get stuff out of the way and actually fix his forklift so we can load stuff. But it's going to be really interesting.
Odie Rich says roller cameras and fuel injection.
No. Well,
I guess on the 1st and 2nd gen.
I can't say never. You know, I'm a carburetor. I'm a Holly guy. I'm an electronic ignition. I'm a simple. Keep it simple. If it goes wrong, I know how to fix it. It's air, fuel, or fire. But there's just so much involved with retroing like a 78 C10 to fuel injection. There's just so much involved, and it's so expensive because none of this is cheap. So
my 84 Chevy truck K10 custom come with the 305 and 700 R4.
Yep.
NP 208 with a 373 gear.
The gear helps. That's the government is funny. They mandate a lot of things. I drove my son's newer, like 2022 Ford from his house 45 minutes away. They're moving local to us. And I thought I messed something up because I got the stoplight shut off. To make the mandated government fuel ratios. And I'm like, no. I'm glad that these trucks are old enough now that they are way beyond that bullshit. And we're in Oklahoma. Forget about catalytic converters and all that. We can do dual exhaust and, have some fun. And yeah, no.
Jason says the kids race and has dirt track modifier since age 13. I've never did. It keeps him out of trouble, and he was wrenching on it ever since. It accomplished what we wanted to do. No fights. Rich says, yeah, those are the differences from Gen 1 and Gen 2 and the one-piece RMS.
Rear main seal. Yeah, rear main seal. And so, if I'm going to build, if I get older into the 60s and still doing the 70s and 80s stuff, I'm going to do two-piece rear main seals just because they match, because that's what's supposed to have been in them. And that's what I know. And so I'm, like I said, with that 2012, I learned, every time I do a job, I learn stuff, but I learned that I don't like all that over complication stuff. I just don't like it. I like simple air, fuel, fire. If it shuts off, it's going to be something simple to fix, something cheap to fix. And you're not having to get code readers out and all kinds of BS.
Michael says, I wouldn't put fuel injection on a Gen 1 or 2. HEI is king with carbs, in my opinion. Super simple and easy to fix. If you do fuel injection, to me, that's what it's when it's time to just go LS.
I agree. Very much so. I agree. I am just mechanical as it comes because mechanical is reliable. My daughter had a 92 Firebird, and we went through during high school. She had a Formula Firebird, four-wheel disc brakes, 350 tune port injection, the whole 9 yards. And we went through, 7 fuel pumps?
Mm-hmm.
7 fuel pumps in a year. It was ridiculous. And it kind of soured me when it comes to fuel injection. I thought, oh, cool, we got a tune port, the whole Ram with the runners, the whole 9 yards, 350, and when it was running, it ran good. It was smooth. It started right up. But then I was trailing for a year because it would shut down in the middle of the parking lot. It wouldn't move, and that kind of soured me when it comes to fuel injection. No, I'm going to stick with carburetors. It's what I know. It's what I know how to fix. It's what I'm going to teach.
Jason says, I don't even want a digital radio. I don't. Mike says, Mark Roberts, sorry. I don't currently own an old Chevy. I do have a 76 long bed Datsun truck. It's a great little workhorse and around my land. I pull the engines in less than 2 hours.
Yeah. No, when the 70s, when Datsun tried to break in the market, they are great little trucks. The the Chevy Loves, the Datsuns, everything. No, but they're mechanical. They are mechanical. There's no fuel injection involved. They're very easy to fix. They're very simple. I mean, if you really think about it, think about the old World War II era Jeeps. They're 4 cylinders, little single 1 barrel carb. They were as easy to work on as you could, and that's what won the war, because it was easy to fix. It was mechanical. They were reliable, and when something messed up with them, they were easy and economical to fix. Along with all the Datsuns and the Toyotas and everything that came across in the 70s, they were great little cars because they were all mechanical.
L31 Vortex with carb is a good time.
Yeah, the Vortex heads, and so the gentleman that I was just talking about, he's got to have 30 engines in that building, at least 30, and some are one piece, some are two piece. He's got some big block stuff. But he's had a lot of health issues, and he hadn't worked on anything in a couple of years. So,
okay.
But I'm gonna bring you along for it.
Harmon says a lot of the digital radios drained the battery and drove people crazy.
Yeah.
Robert says parts of Datsun are getting hard to find. Parts for Datsun are hard to find. Yeah,
but there's there's like every niche out there when it comes to old vehicles. There is some company out there that specializes in that, like Classic. Like Classic does, Mustangs, they do Chevelles, they do S10s, LMC truck. There is going to be some company out there that's going to have a resource. Now with the new, with Trump doing what he does, with all the tariffs and everything, now the prices may be a little wonky for, the next 6 months, but it'll all do out. What? She's laughing herself off. Yeah, she's laughing really good right now.
Hi, Nana. Hi, Papa.
Hi, John. Hi, JB. Hi, Wyatt. I'm assuming you guys are home with the truck delivered, the side job. He just went to deliver it tonight. I'm assuming they're home and got paid.
Yay. Them. Baby love. Yep.
So you guys are gonna once I already figured out, I'm gonna build her an office because Presley is my daughter-in-law. She is like really good at social media, much better than I am. Okay, and so we're gonna build her an office in a new shop to do this, to really work on the social media. You guys are gonna meet John and Wyatt a lot, because the other thing is you guys are gonna meet the dogs, because the new shop is gonna be built in the yard behind the fence. So you guys are going to meet all the dogs, okay? So it's going to be a big family affair, and we're going to go bigger and better, and we're just going to it's really going to be cool. It's really going to be cool. I'm hoping you guys stick around for the ride.
Word says, my 84 C10 had a 10-bolt, one tire flyer. What's the best budget was to get both tires spinning without a locker?
Well, that's the only thing, is with a locker. I mean, when I went drag racing, I put a mini spool in the Camaro, and they were like $109 back 25 years ago. Okay, I don't recommend it, because you cannot push that damn thing around the corner. There's no slip. Okay. Lockers are about $600. Okay, and with some axle savers and some new seals and everything, you're probably in for a grand total of about $800, and you have a positive traction locker rear that will last for 20-30 years. Okay, the only other way is to, the old school, just weld up the spider gears, and then you'll never be able to push it around the corner, because it literally, like on the Camaro, when I put the mini spool in, when you drove around a corner, it went the tires barked because there was no slip, posi traction. So if you want to go cheap, get the welder out, You weld up the spider gears, and then you won't be able to push around corners. It'll be completely aggravating and all. Or you spend the $600 to $800 and put a locker in. Or you do some shopping on Facebook Marketplace, and you find a couple, for $200 or $300 with a pause unit in it.
Any news on the new shop?
Well,
no.
I had several. Yeah, I know. I had several bids, and the guy that gave me the best bid and the one that I feel the best about, he's on vacation. Him and his wife have been planning a European vacation for 30 years.
You said that.
Yeah, and so we're stuck, no concrete till September the 1st, first week of September, and then a couple weeks for it to cure. And then so we're looking at middle of October, 1st of November for in the dry, for the shop being up. But then everything opens up. After that, everything is bigger and better, and we're going to whoop ass and just have a good time and have a lot of fun and teach the people a lot of things. And just one thing after another, we're just going to be rocking.
What about different rear end, or is there a common swap?
It's a common swap. Like I said, I have a 12 bolt, and I highly suggest a 12. There ain't nothing wrong with 10 bolts. I mean, I had a 10 bolt in the Camaro, and I beat on that thing for 6 years of drag racing, never had a problem. Okay, 10 bolts are pretty good, but that's the great thing about the 73 to the 80 model Chevrolet trucks is basically, unless you ordered it that way, it came with a 12 bolt. And 12 bolts are much stronger than a 10 bolt. Okay, so I got 12 bolts sitting on the wall. I got 12 bolts sitting in the frame. So with posies, both of them are posies. So and you're about 70-30 when it comes to 12 bolt not being a posi, because they were farm implements. They were designed, if you got in the mud, you wanted both tires moving. They weren't, passenger cars like in the 81 to 87. They were heavy duty farm implements. And so, yeah, I much prefer the 12 bolts. That's why they put 12 bolts in Chevelles and Camaros and everything with the, the LT1 motors and all that kind of stuff, because they were stronger and they handled the power.
Russ says, I'm in 5th place, LOL. Danny says 100%.
Yeah, I think just talking with you guys tonight, I think we're not going to do memberships. We're just going to keep it like it is, because I look forward to this every week, the Thursday Night Live. I really do, and I'm very grateful for all of you guys. While we're talking about that, smash the like button if you haven't already liked the button. Think about supporting the channel, send a gift or buy a t-shirt or do whatever. Every little bit helps. We're just going to get bigger and better, but we're going to continue to do this for free. Just us talking about cars. But hit that like button. It really helps.
Presley says, I told you.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, I really appreciate that so much. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's amazing just how to put it in words. I'm just an old fart that learned the old-fashioned way of how to work on these things. Okay, and it's been my privilege and pleasure to do this for you guys for the last several years. I mean, for you guys to send me a gift, it really warms my heart, and I'm very appreciative. I really appreciate every bit of it. It really blows my mind that this has really happened. 3 years ago, all I did was just set up a camera, and all I want to do was just let you guys know how to do things that I've learned. And that's all I'm trying to do. And It's really, really rewarding. It really is.
Mike Roberts says, I do have a 2000 Silverado HD big block, mostly reliable, 20 years ever.
Yeah.
Trent says, my 60 Bug is 36 HP, 6 volt, and 28 carb, 0 to 60 in 58 seconds. Haha.
You know what's funny? My sister's they were going to college up north, about an hour up north, and I watched the Volkswagen float because there was such a downpour. There was this big river that went by the college, and I watched the Volkswagen float down the river.
Jason wants to know what the bolt's for. I'm getting in trouble when I take kitchen equipment to the shop. Your trainer.
Well, okay. What this is for the cabinet blaster. So you can put all this stuff in the cabinet blaster and it doesn't fall down the grate into the sand. Okay, that's what this is for. And this was what we paid, $3 for this?
No, I paid $1.25
at the dollar store. Okay, so, but what we're not going to talk about is me washing valve covers and things like that in the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
Mama don't like that stuff, but it happens, and I always do it when she's not here. But then Presley, when they were living here, she would rat me out.
And then you'd use kitchen, like knives and stuff.
But I got a deal made. I've got an ultrasonic cleaner coming. 8-gallon big ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, so that's going to be water, heat, Dawn dishwashing liquid, and just take parts in it and just watch all the gooiness and everything just bake off of it, So
Jason says, good idea. That would get me the death penalty.
You want to know the trick is? Do it when they're at work and have it out and done before they get home from work.
Russ says, how much air pressure to run cabinet?
Okay. That's a Harbor Freight box that I have, and I've had it for about 20 years, and I had to kind of play with it a little bit, but I run about 90 PSI. But I have two, I don't know if you can see, Craftsman. Those are 150 PSI. I run them at 90, okay? And I got one over there, and I got one over here, and one of those wouldn't run it correctly. So I had to do two just for volume. The other thing is the whole building is plumbed for air. So I have the volume. What?
Presley says she knew, and also you told on yourself in the upholstery video.
I kind of did, yeah.
And Russ says sounds like an 010 block.
Oh, 010 block. Yeah, the guy that I met this week, those are 6 of them. He got 6 010 blocks. So, and they can be, 010 blocks can be 4-bolt or 2-bolt. But like I said, they're all cores. And it was interesting because we had a conversation about how, we're all getting older, and there's no way to take it with you. That we've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse, or seen a banker put your money in your casket with you. So his first question was, am I buying them to resell them, or am I buying them to build them? And that was his deciding factor. He was
replying to Dan.
Dan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm buying materials to build projects to teach for the future. I'm not buying them just to sell them. I'm buying them for builds. And so me and him are going to sit down and make a deal, and 6 of them with parts and everything, that should be years of materials needed to make all this happen.
Russ says dad is on rest home now. Thank God.
Yeah, because that's the one thing. That's the one thing we can't cheat. We can't cheat that last day. You know. So all I'm trying to do is leave enough memories for my children and my grandchildren and everything, so that that was the other thing that made me start the channel, was that they'd be able to look me up anytime they wanted.
But it was cooling rack for baking that Jason took became a wing go-kart rock screen. It slowed my baking down.
Hey, we've all got those. We've all got those. You know, those stories. All of us. You know, I mean, Christina has put up with me for 32 years. More than that. We've been married for 32 years, but she's put up with me a lot longer than, you know, me being a motorhead. But, you know, it is, I mean, she's allowed me, she's my rock. She's allowed me to be able to do everything I've ever done in my life. And she's been my best supporter. You know, that's why she's getting the Mustang. She's going to get whatever she wants in it, whatever color she wants, whatever she wants to do. We're going to make it happen because she deserves it for putting up with my grease monkey ass for all these years.
Yeah. See, Rich says, I dynoed my C10 SB motor. I sent you the video of it the other day. It made 335 wheel.
That's not bad. Not for a small block. That's not bad at all. I mean, really, honestly, because, you know, there's a lot of loss between transmission and the rear end and everything. You know, you got nothing to be, you know, that's great.
Let's see here. It's okay to run an open bore carb spacer on top of the aluminum adapter plate.
Sure.
I don't want to swap my stock intake yet.
I did that for a long time when I was a younger man. Yeah, no, that extra volume helps. I mean, just talking about the transmission guy, the guy that liked the 307s, he had, at one time on a 307, he had 6 open carb spacers just to make volume on the old aluminum intake, like an old original, you know, square body intake. He had 1 square body to 1 quadrajet to square flange on the bottom, and then 6. And I don't even remember how he bolted them all together, but he ran that for a long time.
Mike Roberts says, time has no mercy. Just like Hulk Hogan, we never know when it's up.
You never know. So all I can do is that is awesome. I really appreciate it so much. I mean, I really do. I can't, like I said, I don't have words for it. I'm just an old fart that just, you know, just loves building old cars. I thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, it's just, the car community is one of the best there is. There's just nothing else like it, you know. And it, you know, the funny part is it's when you go to like shows and swap meets and cruise nights and everything, it doesn't matter what you're running, because you could always have a conversation with somebody else that you've never met, whether they're running a Toyota, whether they're running a big block, whether they're running an LS, whether they're running whatever it is. You can sit down and have a beer with somebody and be happy and just have a good time and have great conversations. You know, that's why I like the car community so much. I mean, even the drag race community, I mean, it's the same. It doesn't matter what genre you're in, whether it's rock crawling, four-wheel driving, drag racing, you know, we all can just sit and be happy having conversations with each other.
Said, looking forward to learning more from you. Your knowledge is from a dying generation. I appreciate recognizing it in your approach to teaching it.
And see, I did come to the epiphany that the old stuff has become new again. the old technology has become new. I'm so happy that I kept all my old hot rod magazines and all that. I've got stacks and stacks and stacks of them in the house. And we're going to start going through them and going through the old stuff, old school. What?
Just a minute, I'll get there. But I paid $300 for that Chevy 350. Rest in peace, Hulk. I want to run a plastic spacer for a heat soaking problem.
Yeah, the plastic or wood, or composite material. Seat, but you might think about opening it up somehow in your engine compartment, get some of that off of it, or wrapping your exhaust manifolds or headers, whichever you got, because your heat soak. I mean, if it's got enough airflow, you shouldn't have a problem. So if it's a really close engine compartment or smaller, like with a Mustang, or like with something with a Mopar or something, with struts, like a third gen Camaro, things like that, that's when you have issues with heat soak.
Okay. Jason says, wife. And then Miss Presley says, hot pink Mustang, here we come.
Hot pink Mustang, that's not gonna freaking happen. No, I'm sorry, I'm not rolling a hot pink Pepto-Bismol pink Mustang out of this garage. It's not gonna happen. Midnight blue is gonna happen, or primer black is gonna happen, but
no,
hot pink Mustang is not happening.
Primer black is not gonna happen.
Okay, but fine. We're not gonna do Pepto-Bismol pink. Not doing it. I'm sorry. Ain't gonna happen.
Let's see here. She's been watching. Jason says she's been watching now, and she's commenting, I think you gained another fan.
I appreciate that. I mean, really, seriously, like with Jason and all my regulars and everything, I mean, I truly feel like if we met in person, we would sit at the restaurant having a meal and drinking a beer and just being able to talk for hours. And that's what it's all about. I mean, that's all it's all about. I mean, like I've said, all my friends are car guys, and we are still 50 years in of friends that ride or die. True. If I asked, they would come running. Circle the wagons.
Let's see. PDR patch on the pole.
PBR, Patch Blue Ribbon, Patch.
No, PDR.
PDR.
PDR pat. I don't know.
Explain that for me a little bit.
Okay. And Mike Roberts said, commented on the donation and says, Uncle Buck is a great mentor. And then Russ says, God bless you.
Appreciate that very much.
Mike Roberts says, I'm a real car guy because I appreciate all styles and models.
Yeah.
Michael Scantling says, pink would look good on you, Uncle Buck.
I thought you liked me, Mike. I really thought you liked me, Mike. You're going to come see me, right? You're going to get out of the house. You're going to come see me, right? Right?
Let's see. I'm sure you would get along with Vice Grip Garage, Derek.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, if you think about it, Vice Grip, Hannigan, the guys from, Motor Trend, all them guys. It's the thing is that it's the same community. They've been in it, and it's their passion. And when all of us have the same commitment to that passion, that becomes where you feel comfortable around just talking about what you love, and that's the big thing is, if it happens in the future, I mean, I'm more than happy to, shake his hand and say hello and, ask him questions and stuff. And I mean, I had a lot of that happen to me last December at PRI in Indianapolis. I mean, I ran into people that you guys have seen online, and I was kind of starstruck. But whenever somebody like Asian from, Farm Trucking Asian walks up to you, goes face to face, he says, I know you. You're Uncle Buck. that blows your mind. I mean, that's the power of the internet. That's the power of just being yourself. I mean, Asian recognized me. I mean, I was deer in the headlights for 3 hours after that. I was like, what the hell just happened? How is this Joe Schmo from Oklahoma known by, I mean, and they're from Oklahoma too. I mean, I've met them before back in the day, bracket racing, you know, before they got famous. I mean, we did a circuit of the whole area and I met them before, but they weren't famous, you know, but to have somebody like that recognize you in the crowd of thousands,
Okay.
it was a mind blower.
I have a Chevy 350 motor. I run cast number is QAS 1969 to 1979. It came out of a 74 Chevy Bel Air.
Mhm.
It comes with a 1972 Chevy Corvette head with a 202 and a 106 paid
Nice.
online, 300 for all that.
292 serial number heads. I mean, they're great. I mean, yeah. That's just something I'm going to be really diving in deep. I mean, I'm having to deal because I just don't have the budget for aluminum heads right now. But I'm really trying to make the most of what I got. But I mean, the honest truth is that those materials are 50 years old. Okay, the technology has come way up. Now, there's something so cool about, you know, double hump heads, you know, 4-bolt main, cast steel, you know, a forged steel crank and everything, forged pistons. That's as cool as it comes, you know. But it's the honest truth. It's never going to make as much power as the modern cylinder heads. The aluminum stuff, the stuff from Brodix, the stuff from Edelbrock, the stuff from, you know, AFR. The computer programming and the technology is just through the roof right now. They're pricey, but there's still something so cool about that kind of setup. You know, it makes us older guys just go, yeah, that's awesome. You know, it really does. You know,
Judy Scantling says,
Judy Ann. Hi, Judy Ann.
pink Mustang interior, Uncle Buck.
You guys are killing me. You're killing me. We are not doing anything pink on that Mustang. Nothing.
Roach says performance is now past it. Even eBay cheap stuff blows miles better, but I agree.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Temu has cylinder heads. The Chinese are making knockoffs of everything. They actually have cylinder heads that come with Temu printed on the ends of them. Temu, okay, they're stealing everything, okay, but I ain't ever gonna freaking buy it because you know they're hacks and they're substandard and they're made in bad conditions and no. But I saw it this week. Temu has performance aluminum cylinder heads.
Mm.
What is this world coming to? It's 9 o'clock.
Yep.
All right. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. You guys got any other questions? Because I have a honeydew to do. We have a couple of light bulbs that are out. She's gonna make me get on the step stool and change light bulbs here in a minute. She wants some light bulbs changed in the house.
Heck, a fella could even have fun building a GM inline 6.
Hey, okay. Now I'm gonna kind of go. I have in the past. I have had a lot of friends that had the Ford 300 straight sixes. And I had an old '69 Ford Chevy, a Ford pickup truck that Christina's dad gave us when we first got married, and it had a FE, a 390 in it. Okay, I got no complaints about those engines. I've seen my friends back in the day run them dry, run them out of water, smoking hot. When you put, you spray them down with a garden hose and hear hissing and cracking and everything, and start back up and go for thousands of miles. Okay, straight sixes, there's nothing wrong with them. They are a dynamite platform, whether it's Chevy, Ford, Chrysler. Now the slant six on the Chrysler, that's another story, but there's those guys that love those too. But that's the great thing about the car community. It doesn't matter what you're into. There's always going to be guys that will back you up and enjoy the funness of building something from nothing with old parts and things like that. But there's nothing wrong with Ford engines like the 300 straight six or the FE engines. Nothing wrong with them.
Mike says, sorry for the late questions. Russ says, thanks. Good night, both of you. You've been great. Have you ever truck bed off a truck, find a number written on the bed, and the cab truck have that?
There was a number on Bamalam, but that's the bed that came on it. It was, but there really wasn't. There was a bed number underneath, not on the frame, but underneath. But I haven't found a cab number besides the VIN over the last several years. But there was a number on the metal part of the bed, not on the fenders or on the cap or on the tailgate. But there was a number. But basically, that's a great thing about. Reason I like Chevrolets because they didn't change a lot. A 350 or a straight six will bolt up to a turbo 350 transmission. A 454 will bolt up to a 350 transmission. The bell housings didn't change for decades. Everything interchanges. Ford, not so much. Chrysler, not so much, except for maybe the 727 transmissions, but GM, I think that's why I like GM so much, because my first car was a Dart, 69 Dodge Dart. But then after that, I bought a Monte Carlo once I wrecked it. But
Jason says my frame had and cab has factory chalk numbers. Dan says, the one that asked the question about the numbers, where his was written on with a marker on the cab and the bed wall.
Well, okay. On the bed wall, the fender wall on the inside, or anyway. So that's factory stuff. I mean, everybody had to sign off on their things. I mean, that's when you go you guys have seen them, like the Camaros and stuff. They have special huge markers and things, marks off and check marks and everything to make it like a concourse. Every nut and bolt is exactly the way it came out of the factory. I don't pay attention to it.
It was telling you the paint code and how any was paint.
Well, okay. I know most. I got lucky on the first one. There's also a build sheet in Bamalam of all the codes that came with that cab. But I never really paid attention to what was done from the factory when it comes on the frame and the beds and the caps and stuff. I was more interested in it having a title and things like that. But yeah, they had to sign off on stuff in the factory all the time.
He said it's between the bed and the cab.
Yeah.
Thomas Scanlon says Michael and Judy Ann come see you all the time.
I know, Thomas. You get strong again, because I want to see it at the gun show, and I want to see it at the office. Get off your ass, come see me. Okay, then we're gonna, because we got any other questions. Really appreciate all you guys so much. Like I said, if you hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, think about purchasing a t-shirt or helping out the channel, making a gift. That would be great. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I think you guys made up my mind. There ain't gonna be any memberships involved. We're just gonna keep going like we're going, and hopefully we can do 1,000 of these every Thursday night, so we can break bread, talk about these old cars. So y'all have a great day, great night, great weekend. And remember, Thursday nights Thursday nights for the lives, Sunday at noon for the videos, okay? And I think we're going to keep with that for a long time. That seems to be a really good rotation for this. And I appreciate all you guys. We're going to call it a night. I got to change some light bulbs. All right, so I'm going to get on my step stool, and we're going to change some light bulbs tonight. All right, y'all be good.